Champs, what is going on? This is another 6-minute video. This is where I talk about a random topic for 6 minutes. It isn't for the views, the likes, the subscriptions, the subscribers. It isn't for getting fame and glory. It is just for my personal adventure with becoming a better and a more efficient speaker in front of a camera and a microphone without another person trying to keep the conversation going. Today, we're going to be playing some Cole LLC, but getting rid of the social element where another person keeps the conversation going, as I said. It kind of introduces a whole new level of speaking where you kind of have to come up with things on your own. Because talking with the camera, when I was doing this at the beginning, very, very hard. So-and-so videos down the line, it's a little bit easier, but still, it is very, very easy to just stop talking. But I digress. Today's first topic, today's only topic is going to be about storage devices, right? Now, for some people that don't know a whole lot about computers, there's mainly two ways of storing data on your computer. One of those being a hard drive. A hard drive, if you've ever used a DVD player, hard drives work in almost the exact same way, except for the DVD stays permanently in the DVD player, right? So you put storage onto it and it has this disc inside of it that spins. It's pretty cool, but they're cheap, but not too cheap. The other one is SSDs. What they do, they're very, very lightning fast. And what they don't do, they don't have a spinning disk inside of them. They don't have the hardware spinning around, running with the machine in the background 24/7. So they operate a little bit differently. And the fact that there are no moving parts makes them extremely, extremely fast. The hard drives, however, in mass quantities, they are extremely affordable. That is one of the pros to having these mechanisms that are prone to fail, is that they're very, very cheap when you're trying to buy them bulk. But here's the thing. What was I going to say? Here's the thing. When you're buying them a whole lot, in a couple years, not even a couple years, maybe 10 years down the line, you're going to have to replace all of them. With SSDs, that's not necessarily the case. SSDs are extremely fast, extremely small. They fit into laptops and everything. But here's the thing. They're very, very expensive. Everybody knows that's what they want. Everybody knows that that is the thing to get. We're going to buy a shoddy minigun. That's going to be awesome. No bonuses, no time, no employees. We're going to start day 2. Anyway, getting back into it. So it's kind of hard. Oh, where's my minigun? So it's kind of hard to choose between them two because you can get a lot of storage for relatively cheap. Well, 2 years ago, relatively cheap. Now it's all used for data centers, AI. But hopefully this isn't too loud. Anyway, but nowadays, I would argue in the big 2026, is it necessarily worth it to be using hard drives anymore? I would say no. It's not worth it to use hard drives because, yes, without this data center craze, you would have had these SSDs to choose from, and I would have highly recommended them because they're so dependable, they don't fail, they're super fast. The only bad thing about them is the cost, which is kind of major, I understand, but putting that upfront investment at first is huge because you're able to benefit off of that for the rest of your life, basically. Those SSDs will last you forever, and they last way more. When you use storage, you use its lifespan a little bit. When you're writing data, when you're saving like a video, like this video right now, you're using the storage on your device just a little bit. And if it's used enough, then that thing just straight up and fails, which is no good. Nobody likes that because then something that you probably paid a ton of money for, well, let's be real. I mean, if you're choosing lower quantities of storage, it's not that big of a deal. $100 will get you I'm not even too sure. Probably 500 gigs to a terabyte with a hard drive. $100 now will get you a maybe 256 gig SSD. The super fast stuff, super expensive. And especially right now with the AI crisis, I won't really call it an AI crisis. Ooh, we're going to get the next minigun. Yay. I wouldn't really necessarily call it an AI crisis, but these companies just eat up all the storage and mostly the GPU. But the GPUs might actually be overhyped, right? I bought my GPU maybe last year. It hasn't moved in price at all. This thing's 16 gigs. It hasn't moved in price at all. I can still sell it exactly for the same price what I used it for. Granted, you might say, hey, Wyatt, that's right. If you're selling it used for the same price that you bought it new, that's technically your GPU has gone up in price. And I will admit that. You totally have a good point there. But what I'm trying to say is, like, it's not that big of a deal. You can find deals, you can find good things around that happen. Good prices. I wouldn't necessarily buy electronics used, but now might be a good time to start. I have bought a couple electronics used, and I haven't been burned yet, which isn't to say that I won't get burned, but just in my personal experience, it's worked out better more often than not. Obviously, you got to look out for the obvious scams. Don't be falling for that. Don't be dumb. Play it smart. Look really, really closely at images. AI images are really, really close to the real thing nowadays. So don't get fooled by that. I'd hate for anybody to be losing money because they just didn't look at the description close enough, or there's a bunch of typos in there and they didn't catch it. Oh well. But I digress. In the big 2026, I think hard drives are not the way to go versus SSDs. I really just don't. But that's the end of this 6-minute video. I'm going to end it here. Let me know what you think in the comments. If anyone even watches these, whatever. I don't care. All right, see ya.